What's up, guys? Back here again. Another video. A couple weeks ago, I showed or I did an unboxing of this top fin 3.5 gallon ENCHANT tank that I picked up at PetSmart. I think, as I said in the video, I got a real good deal. I think I paid about 15 bucks for it. So I picked up a couple things. And the plan here is to scape this thing and have it done. And hopefully not make a long video of it. Let me pause this real quick and I'll show you just some of the supplies, some of the things I plan on using, some of the things I've done to the tank, and hopefully what this thing will look like when we're done. So hang tight, let me pause the video. Alright, so here's a look at the tank. One thing I do and I kind of like doing is putting a background on the tank. This is just white construction paper that I have taped here on the back. Hopefully that'll kind of highlight some of the things that I want to put in the tank. But again, this is a half moon or U-shaped tank, whatever you want to call it, bow front. I really wouldn't call it a bow front, but plastic tank. Like I said, I got a pretty good deal on it, 3.5 gallons. So we'll set that aside. Some of the things that I have, and we'll take a look at that. So here's some of the stuff I plan on using for the tank. This is samurai soil, which is, I'm not putting any shrimp in here, but it's good for planetscapes. You can see all the benefits there. Pick this up. This container should be plenty enough for this size tank. This was about $12. I've used this in another one of my tanks, and I've seen some pretty good results, and it looks pretty cool too. Here's some driftwood, which I've kind of already attached a plant to it. Some other rocks I may or may not use, but these are some cool rocks I also picked up at my local pet store. And I've got some plants over here. Some of the plants I've used before in tanks. This is the bacopa here, or the moneywort. This is the elodea that you've seen in some of my other tanks. And this plant here, I found it at a pet store, and I'm not sure what this is. I don't know if this is that Laguidia or something like that. If you guys know what this plant is, shoot me a comment so I can have the proper name of this. But these are some of the plants I'm going to try and use in here. And with that being said, everything that you guys can see that's going in the tank, I'm only putting a betta in this tank. It's a little bit over 3 gallon tank. A betta should be fine in this tank. Unless I find some real smaller fish, so maybe I can put 2 or 3 in there. But I think a betta fish should do well in that tank. So when doing the hardscape, if that's what they call it in the aquascaping business, the hardscape, and that's pretty much your driftwood, rocks, the soil or substrate that you want to use. I kind of want everything to fit and look somewhat uniform. So a lot of people, they'll go in and they'll put the driftwood and rocks in first, and then put the soil in. As you can see, I put the soil in first. One thing that I like to do, though, that is kind of cool, is you want to slope your substrate from back to front. So you want the higher in the back, lower in the front, which kind of creates a sense of depth. But I'm just kind of still playing around with things. I'll be back here in a second, hopefully with a finished hardscape for you. So I don't know if I've been spraying with this to kind of keep the plants dry and the soil moist. So I don't know if how well this shows up on camera, but there's one rock I put over here, and see the driftwood, there's already a Java fern attached to that. These rocks right there, I may leave those in, may take them out, but really they're wedged in there to do a couple of things to hold the Java fern in place and to make sure this wood doesn't float up when I put water in it. That can happen when you're using driftwood. Some people, they like to boil their driftwood or let it soak for weeks or months at a time. You know, I figure, you know, a neat little trick like that. And it doesn't look too bad with the rocks in there. But I think as far as a hardscape, I think this is all I want to do. You might be asking about filtration, and I have a sponge filter that I'm going to put in this back corner. So I'm not going to plant anything in that back corner. But I'm really going to try and fill in this area with some of the taller plants so they look like they're coming up through the branches of the wood. Fill in that back area up here. And then that moneywort or the bacopa, I'm really going to try and line this area up here in the front to really kind of fill in that area right there. But I think as a hardscape, I think I like that. I think it's pretty simple. You know, it fills in the middle area. Plus, I like it had some height over here too, and the plants will also give it height. So I'm okay with that. Now let me see about start planting. So I'll be back in a second. So after about a solid 45 minutes, this is kind of what I came up with, and I'll try and, you know, get as close in here as possible to show you guys. But obviously here's the soil, here's that red and green plant. Again, it's some long stem plant, maybe a rotala or that Lowidia. I believe that's how it's pronounced. And the water, since there's no water in here now, you know, I've sprayed it down just to kind of keep everything from drying out. So I know it's hard to see. It'll look a lot better once we fill this thing up with water. Here's your bacopa up front. That LOD I planted in throughout here, so that'll grow up through the branches. There's the Java fern right there. That's a little better. There's a Java fern right there. There's some more of the bacopa over here, and then in the back, you can't really see it because this is all wet. But I lined, you know, that back part with the rest of that long stem plant. We'll just call it that for now, the red and green one. And so ideally, you know, I want, since this tank is you know, has some height to it, I want everything to kind of grow up and throughout the wood. Again, I planted nothing over here because the filter is going to go over there. That's a sponge filter. And really that's about it. I'm kind of excited to fill this thing with water and see what it looks like and show you guys. So hang tight, and we'll see what it looks like with water. Okay, so here's I look at the tank. Everything seems to still be in there, which is always a good thing. Kind of, let me take this off and give you guys the once around. See the driftwood, see the plants here in the back, see the rocks, you see the samurai soil. Now one thing, you know, the first thing that I will notice is these lights on this tank are not bright enough. So there's one adjustment I'm going to have to make. It will definitely be adding a brighter light to this tank to really help with the plant growth. But good thing is these plants are not that high maintenance. The bacopa there is a pretty hardy plant. The Java fern, obviously, the Alodia or Elodia, I keep butchering that name, I apologize. Those are pretty hardy plants. You see the sponge filter in the back, so we're good to go there. I will add a heater to this, and like I said, probably just a betta fish. I think a nice betta should go well in this tank. All in all, I hope I do get some solid plant growth, and I should once I replace the light. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with the scape so far. So please let me know what you guys think about this top fin 3.5 gallon ENCHANT tank. Leave a comment below. Any questions, please send them my way. Other than that, hope you guys liked the video. Hope it wasn't too long. I apologize if it was. This was about a 10-minute video, 10.5-minute video. This probably took me about 2.5 hours, if you guys really wanted to know. But other than that, as always, I'll see you guys down the road. Talk to you guys later. Bye.